The 401k. For a lot of us, it's just this number that shows up on a statement once in a while. But what does it actually mean for your future? Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to turn all that uncertainty into a real, actionable game plan for your retirement.
It really is the big question, isn't it? That little voice in the back of your head that kind of pops up and asks, hey, are you really saving enough for the future you actually want?
And you know what? If you feel like you're just guessing, you are definitely not alone. So many of us just kind of contribute to our retirement accounts without having any real picture of the long-term impact. But don't worry, we are going to fix that today.
Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of the problem, what I like to call saving blind. It's a super common habit, but man, it can really cost you down the road.
Think about it. When you save without a strategy, it's kind of like you're flying a plane with no instruments. It just creates this low-level anxiety, and worse, it can lead to some pretty serious shortfalls when you actually need the money. Our goal here is to move from hoping you'll have enough to knowing you will.
So how do we get that clarity? How do we switch on the instruments? Well, the solution is actually surprisingly simple, but it is incredibly powerful. You can think of it as your own personal financial GPS for retirement. What is it? A 401k calculator? It's a tool that's literally designed to get rid of the guesswork. It projects the future value of your savings and shows you, plain and simple, whether or not you're on track to hit your retirement goals. And the best part is, this tool isn't generic at all. It creates a personalized forecast using your specific details, your age, your salary, how much you're saving, and this one's huge, any employer match you're getting.
So, you might be wondering, what's the engine that powers these incredible projections? Well, it all comes down to one of the most powerful forces in all of finance: compound interest. Seriously, time is your single greatest asset when it comes to building wealth. And why is that? It's all because of compounding. It's actually a pretty simple idea. The earnings on your investments start making their own earnings. It's like a snowball rolling downhill that just gets bigger and bigger, and over a few decades, it can turn small, consistent savings into an absolute fortune. Okay, let's make this real. Let's look at an example. Picture a 30-year-old right now earning a solid salary, say $60,000 a year. Now, this person's doing a great job saving. They're contributing 10% of their salary. And on top of that, their employer helps out by matching the first 4%. That is literally free money, and they're taking full advantage of it. Smart move. And to top it all off, let's just assume a pretty conservative 7% annual return on their investments. And that's not some crazy pie-in-the-sky number. It's a pretty typical long-term average for the market. Okay, so based on all that, consistent habits over 35 years, what do you think their 401k is going to look like by the time they hit age 65? Go on, take a guess. Over $1 million. Wow. That is the power of starting early, being consistent, and just letting compounding do all the heavy lifting for you. This isn't about winning the lottery, folks. This is the result of a solid, totally achievable game plan. All right, so you've seen the incredible potential. Now let's get practical. How do you actually turn this knowledge into smart decisions you can make, like right now, to maximize your own growth? Here are 4 key strategies. First up, maximize your employer match. Always contribute enough to get the full amount your employer offers. It's an instant, guaranteed return on your money. You can't beat it. Second, start as early as you possibly can. The more time on your side, the more powerful that compounding magic gets. Third, increase your contributions gradually. Just bumping it up by 1% each year is a pretty painless way to give yourself a huge boost over time. And finally, avoid early withdrawals. I mean it. They come with penalties, and they absolutely rob your future self of decades of potential growth. Another really key choice you'll have to make is between a traditional 401k and a Roth 401k. Here's the simple breakdown. With a traditional, you get a tax break right now. With a Roth, your withdrawals in retirement are completely tax-free. So the question to ask yourself is pretty simple. Do you think your tax rate will be higher now or in retirement? If you think you'll be in a higher tax bracket later on, a Roth might just make more sense for you. So how do you know if you're on track? Well, here are some general benchmarks that financial experts suggest. By age 30, the goal is to have about 1 time your annual salary saved. By 40, 3 times. Now, listen, don't panic if you're not there yet. Just think of these as guideposts, right? They're there to help you set your goals. Okay, let's bring this all together. It's time to go from guesswork to a real game plan. The whole point of this was to help you move past that vague financial anxiety and give you clear, actionable steps for your future. And to get the most accurate picture from that calculator, you've got to avoid a few common mistakes. First, please, never leave that employer match on the table. It's a 100% return on your money. You can't get that anywhere else. Also, use realistic numbers for your expected returns. Somewhere in that 5 to 7% range is a solid conservative bet. And finally, make sure you update your inputs every year. Life changes, right? Your financial plan should change with it. So here's the most important takeaway. A 401k calculator, it's not some tool you use just one time and then forget about. No, it's more like an ongoing partner. It's the engine that's going to help you forecast your wealth, optimize your savings, and adjust your strategy as your life and career change over time.
Look, your retirement is being built decades in the making, one contribution at a time. So the real question is, are you building it with a clear blueprint? Or are you just kind of guessing and hoping for the best? Isn't it time to actually see that blueprint? The power to see that future and to shape it is literally right at your fingertips.